Hey guys, this is Gamer Cal, and if you are seeing this, well, I guess I've decided to do the new OP after all then, huh? So, yes, welcome to the Genius of Sappheiros. This is now a part which I can actually control, so I have to push buttons again. That's kind of a thing. So, this game is a Toho fan project. Well, Toho is just about all fan projects at this point, but it's a Toho fan game. It's an RPG. It's one of my favorite Toho fan games, I've got to say, and it's also very long. So I guess there is that, but it's pretty great. There's a lot of it sort of harkens back to the old turn-based RPG style, but with a few differences that are not quite as common. Like, yeah, sure, Raymond, you're kind of working. That's for real. So there is an awful lot to cover within this game, and it's not as if people haven't done playthroughs of this, but I kind of felt like, since I can't stream at the moment, this would be a good enough time to do it. Because, well, I know a lot about this game. I never actually beaten the post-game's final boss, although I did do the bonus dungeon, so there was that. I just couldn't be bothered grinding for the extra parts that I wanted, really. So yeah, and I actually did a big, like, 6-hour long stream of it at one point for that bonus dungeon, because it's really freaking hard. However, I don't know, like, I played through most of the game in the new weekend version, like what I have. Although actually I'm playing version 3.00. There's supposedly 3.01 is the latest one, but I don't know what it actually changes. I'll have to maybe inquire about that, because that might be something I'd look at. But essentially, when I played through this game originally, it was kind of really hard to get most of this stuff. The drop rates were exceptionally low, and it just wasn't a whole load of fun to try and get anything. And that's kind of it. Freymu, there's no ghost. Just stop it. Why would the Kappa give the I don't even know. Well, cucumbers have got a lot of water in them. Maybe that'll cool you down a little bit. So anyway, yeah, this game is all about a mist instant, as you've seen so far, and that's kind of what we are going to be seeing fairly soon. I mean, we've already seen what the effects of this mist are. The lesser yokai are kind of getting wrecked by it, and people have got to go and investigate, find out what is going on, I guess. And, well, that's what we're going to get to. So anyway, if you've played, I believe this game is sort of inspired a lot by the Saga series from Japan, but honestly, I've never even heard of them before this, and I've never really looked at them at all, so I don't know exactly. I don't know exactly what the sort of inspiration for them, but that way is. But there's a lot of mechanics from RPGs of old that you'll most likely be familiar with, but there's a fair few which are applied in slightly different ways. So we'll see just how that goes when we actually get into it. This is basically just an episode 0 sort of thing, because this opening part is like 20 minutes long or something overall, so I kind of figured that I may as well just do this in all one part, and then we'll be able to see what the actual combat and stuff is in an official episode 1, if you will. And Jikari appears out of nowhere, and I don't think... I should probably say also, actually, this, in terms of timeline stuff, This takes place just after Toho 12, which is when Byakuran and Ko first came in, and I don't believe that Sanae has actually interacted with Yukari at all at this point, so she probably doesn't even know who Yukari is. If she does, then she doesn't really know a whole lot about Yukari, so that sort of startled reaction makes a lot of sense, really. I guess the second point, just another unrelated point really, but this game's text is a bit weird in terms of the scale of it. You've seen a couple of bits clip off, unfortunately, which is not really anything I can do anything about, or something about, I suppose, because really it's just it's a locale issue. So I'm actually playing with my computer in Japanese locale at the moment, because if I do that, the text is legible for other stuff. The text here would be a lot better if I had English locale on, but the text for the battles and for some of the menus is not so good. It's actually really terrible to try and read. It's bad enough just to try and read it when you're playing, but it doesn't scale at all, and it's all just really, really small text. So it can be very difficult to read on a video, from my personal experience. So I am going to play in Japanese locale, even though some of the cutscene text is going to be cut off, and honestly the text doesn't look as good, but it's readable, and that is the more important thing. So yeah. Anyway, more plot-based stuff going on. This mist only affects yokai, so obviously the humans are like, I don't really care about that. But as Yukari is kind of pointing out here, the fact that it only targets yokai at the moment means that the yokai might start thinking that somebody on the human side is out to get them all and could start a war, or at least just a bigger incident than what's going on. So yeah, and shoutouts to Kibatu for this. Sanae's "she's so excited" post thing. Yeah, that's exactly how it should be said too. But yes, Sanae is a very excitable little girl in this quest. So yeah, Reimu basically doesn't want to go. Marissa didn't want to go, but Sanae's like, we have to do this, come on, let's go. It's a crisis for humans, don't you think? It's an incident, right? We have to go solve it. I mean, that's what we are. It's our duty, yep. So she's way too happy about all this. Yeah, I would agree, Marissa. But of course Marissa gets roped in as well, and then she's like, yeah, sure, whatever. She's bored anyway, so... So yeah, basically Sanae and Marissa are like, yeah, let's go, and then Yukari's like, you have to do this, Reimu, get a move on. And so Reimu's like, fine, whatever. Let's just go get this done, and... yeah. Surely this can't take too long, right? So Yukari disappears, and the heat is still there, and Reimu's now pissed off because she has to do work, and God knows Reimu doesn't want to do work. Just gonna put it out here right now, Reimu's attitude in this game is even worse than it normally is. So, also, eavesdropper. Yeah, sure. Oh dear, Aya is anything but honest and pure, but yeah. So Aya wants to tag along because there's going to be a story. That's pretty much all she does, and yeah, as I said, the text sometimes clips off, but Yep, Aya just wants to know what's going on, and well, yep, having more companions does kind of help, yep. So, so exciting! She is also so excited, she just doesn't have a pose for it. Yeah. So, now we have our starting 4 members, which is why their pictures are obviously on the right-hand side there. So, where will we be going indeed? And drawing on past experiences, this is a missed incident, and there has been one missed incident before, which is for Amelia. Suika also has missed, and technically her mist is not red like Remelia's was, so she'd probably be a better candidate to go for first, but something tells me Suika wouldn't really want to do something like this. But then again, with Remelia, actually, yeah, Remelia probably would do something like this if she could get away with it, because she kind of does think that, you know, she's a dominant character in all of everything, and to be honest, she is really pretty damn strong, but she kind of thinks she's a bit better than she really is. She's a bit bratty that way, so it kind of makes sense to think of that way. So yeah, anyway, one of the things with Weekend as the expansion, apart from giving better drop rates and something else we'll see later, it also gives us a map for the areas. However, the map does not fill in automatically. Obviously, you do have to roam through it, and that does mean that it gets cut off at times, because you can't actually clear all of the spaces, simply because you can't access them all. It only unclears itself by proximity, and whilst we can clear most of the stuff, you can see we can't actually clear everything. We're not going to be able to clear the map up top here, so that's kind of irritating, to be honest. There will always be certain squares like those 5 up there that are impossible to clear, but you know, that's only if you have sort of, I guess, OCD issues with that, which I really don't. I don't particularly care too much with stuff that way. In fact, I often leave stuff like that just to annoy people, but that's just a thing. So this is the entire world map. This is the all of the areas we'll go to. This is kind of built up like a regular Toho game in that it is stage based. So even though it's RPG elements to it, it's not a full-blown, you know, overworld with encounters, Golden Sun-esque, or, you know, any big Final Fantasy style thing. It's a fairly contained zone, but there's a lot of time in the areas themselves. Each area is pretty big, so, and it gets more expansive as it goes. So yeah, that's pretty much that. So you can see some of the sorts of places we'll be going. All of these grayed out areas we'll be going to at some point. So obviously Yokai Mountain, you know, it's Aente down the Forest of Magic is fairly obvious. Aente is down here. Sunflower Garden was there. There was the Neverworld Hakugiroku or whatever. I can't remember how. I can never remember how it's said. And then Murunsuka, and yeah, that's basically it for that. So even though this is kind of criminally short, there's a few things I want to go into next time. So obviously that is something we shall do. I might actually have a part 0.5 for bonus character stuff here, because there's a couple of characters you can unlock early, which I will show how to do, but will not be doing for the purposes of this playthrough. So there is that. But to be honest, with all the intro cutscene stuff, this particular part will have gone more than long enough, so I guess we will have a part 0.5 just to show those characters off. But until then, this is GamerCal. We are starting a new thing, I suppose. So yeah, tune in for more of this.